All right, man, peace. So now we're here, back with the character of Chris, who plays Sanaa Lathan's character's husband in the film. His silly ass is still trying to figure out why she has almost $300,000 in a bank account that he knows nothing about. She's going to walk into the room, and of course, he's going to confront her and try to get to the bottom of why she has all this money and where she got it from. All right, so of course, we're going to see what happens, and I'm going to chime in.
Late again, huh?
Yeah.
Come here.
Tired, Chris.
Baby, come here. Sit down for a second.
Look, every time he says anything, she just says she's tired. She's just desperate to try to avoid any type of contact with the man. That man probably ain't got no ass since the wedding night.
What? What are you doing with this?
I was wondering myself, like, how are we affording all of this stuff? Where the hell did all this money come from?
You sure you want to know?
Oh, please, this is not a game. Now, you tell me what the hell is going on.
Bro, she already telling you. She said, you sure you want to know? She's telling you she's getting it from another man. All right. Why would a female ask you, are you sure you want to know, and that's your wife? She's telling you right there she fucking somebody. You know, a lot of the liberal women, they like to play that game of keeping secrets from, their so-called man. And they try to couch it in the excuse of, I don't know if he's ready to hear that. Bullshit. You're a lying ass bitch and you hiding something from this man. He's supposed to be your husband, right? That means transparency. That means communication. That's another thing, man. If you were a female who's not communicating, you're wasting your time. All right. A lot of times brothers get caught up in relationships or relationship dynamics with females who have poor communication skills. The reason why the female has poor communication skills a lot of times is because she has a bad family history. Sometimes women have been molested. It makes them want to keep certain things inside. Sometimes they don't view you as being worthy of divulging certain things. And sometimes they just get off on subterfuge. Either way, no matter what it is, if a woman is not communicating, she's not really wife material. All right, and that's the bottom line.
None of your damn business. You don't ask me questions about the money I'm making.
See that? Once again, when a woman maintains a man, she becomes impudent. And brothers, look, man, that's why I say on this channel, I don't go for all of the gender war bullshit. A lot of people amongst our people, quote unquote, so-called black people, they're infatuated with and addicted to the back and forth between the so-called black man and the so-called black woman. They enjoy it. The woman versus man nonsense. If you're a man, you understand that a woman is not on your level. She's not somebody to be arguing with. If you have the right mindset and you have proper understanding of yourself and what's going on around you, you have a conversation with your woman. You guys discuss things. If she has an issue or a grievance, then you communicate in a functional manner. When a person starts talking about my money and you guys are supposed to be in a partnership, a union, whatever you want to call it these days, that is her way of saying that she has no respect or regard for you. This is why I like to make some of these videos in regards to relationships, because a lot of times the so-called black man is stuck in this convention and he thinks that it's okay because that's all he's ever seen. There's nobody that tells him, no, bro, this is not good. It's not good for your mental health. Once again, this is why so-called black men a lot of times are dropping dead at 55, 56 years old. Because they take all this bullshit and they internalize it. And then they try to take it out on the next black man. People talk about the reasons behind black on black crime. It's because the so-called black man tolerates things that he should not tolerate. And a lot of brothers have never had anybody to tell them that, yes, they matter. Yes, what you think and what you feel matters. Yes, your manhood matters. Yes, a woman should defer to you as a man. But you have to establish that by, establishing your own manhood. having your own, doing for yourself, being self-validated. These are things that you have to be. This character here is learning on the fly, but it's part of his process of development.
I can be the nicest guy in the world. But if you keep pissing me off, then we are going to have a problem up in here.
I get bonuses at work.
Yeah, you getting boned, all right. There's just no us in there. It's a bone. It's not a bonus. It's a bone.
I get bonuses at work.
Bonuses?
Yes. This is my money. This is my money, Chris. And I don't tell you everything because you're always talking about some get-rich-quick scheme.
No, you don't tell him anything because you have no regard for him as a person, as a human being, or as your husband. These are things that he should have scrutinized before he married your crazy ass. All right. Once again, this is why I always say I blame you brothers. I don't blame the female. The female is a child. Okay. It's a child walking around, just a grown child with titties. That's what they are.
You always find something to invest in or buy or screw up.
Just trying to make a better life for our family. That's all.
And brothers also, see, this is why I tell you, when you have a vision for yourself, you have to be working on that before you establish your relationship. See, he has a dream of being a contractor, of getting into construction. These are things that he should have perfected and got going before the marriage. This is things that he should have perfected before the relationship. Let me specify, not the marriage, the relationship. Because once you get caught up in a relationship, now all of your energy is going towards that person as opposed to that vision that you have. Then you end up in this situation. Your wife having 6 figures in the bank from gargling sperm.
Family. By blowing all my money. Chris, you will never be William Cartwright.
Damn. And let me rewind this back, because this is a good scene.
He's smart. To invest in or buy or screw up.
Just trying to make a better life for our family. That's all.
Family. By blowing all my money. Chris, you will never be William Cartwright. He's smart. He can carry on a conversation with the business world without stuttering. He's charming. He went to Harvard. Get over it. You will never be him or in business for yourself. Now put my mail back in the envelope and put it back in the drawer where you found it.
You see that shit? I thought she was going to say, now go back in your room and sit in the corner till I call you out. Because she just straight sunned that man. But this goes on with certain brothers, man. This goes on. This is why when the woman is not around, they just lose their mind. And I reflect back to the video that I did on the Insecure series with the character of Lawrence. He allowed the character of Issa to become a mother figure to him as opposed to establishing, the authority in a relationship. Right? At the very least, his independence, his understanding to himself and to her that if there does come a disconnect, that he can move on seamlessly. And this is how you have to view relationships, man. You're with somebody. They're constantly being appraised and evaluated based on their conduct. Their status rises as their consistency is established. It's just like credit, right? Your credit report goes up as the banks see that you are fiscally responsible. The same thing in relationships. This guy did not establish her relationship credit. All right. Now he's bugging out because she's defaulting on her loan. He's fucked up in a big way. But it's a very good scene to illustrate situations that brothers should not be trying to get into. Do not establish a serious relationship with a female until you are where you're trying to be. All right. Once again, that's why the Lord got all these hoes out here. All right. You have to work on yourself, get your shit correct, and be on your P's and Q's. And for goodness sakes, when you have a child with these women, make sure that you get a mandatory paternity test. I don't care how much y'all talk about how y'all love each other. You establish to the woman right off the bat. Look, it's nothing personal. I love you. But if you're pregnant and you have that child, we're going to have a paternity test. I'm not saying that you're a hoe, but I don't know. You might have slipped, fell on some dick. I don't know. I have no idea. I have to make sure that this child is mine. But anyway. All right, so now the character of Chris has finally come to the realization that his wife did not approach Mr. Cartwright for the loan for him to open up his own business. No, he's rather dim-witted, but, at least he figured that out. Now he's going to have a meeting with Mr. Cartwright, and certain things are going to be established here. And it's just an end sample of how important it is for the so-called black man to be confident and understand that, just because a man is Caucasian and has a suit and tie on does not mean that you should be intimidated.
So, how can I help you? Well, Mr. Cartwright, I was thinking about starting my own construction company. I mean, much smaller than this, of course.
He said much smaller than this to let Mr. Cartwright know that it's not my intention to compete with you.
Of course. Well, you gotta start somewhere. Well,
keep in mind that this character of Cartwright, he's not a self-made person. He's not a self-made man. He inherited his company from his patrilineal line through his father, through his forefathers.
I was wondering, maybe you would like to invest. Invest, yeah. Okay, well, do you have any other investors? Well, none. You are the first person I work very closely with your wife.
Yeah, real close, like up close between her damn legs. Look, you see the character of Chris is becoming intimidated. If he really believes in himself and in his vision, then he should be able to look the man in his eye, stay what he wants, and receive either the yes or the no. Like I established in the first video that I did on this film, the only reason why he even has a job working in construction is because Mr. Cartwright wanted to create a pretext to establish to the character of Andrea, Sanaa Lathan's character, that he is the provider. All right, he can provide for both her and her husband. So this was to give her incentive to become his side chick. All right, that's the only reason why he assisted Chris to get the job that he has. And it's really reflective of this society at large. When they talk about quota-based hiring for the so-called black man, it's just really to bring you in on a low-level position. But you'll see it in almost every corporation, the so-called black man cannot break through into the boardroom because that actually denotes power and prestige and the ability to be the manipulator and not just a hired hand.
And I'll get back to you through her. How about that? Yeah.
He said, I'll get back to you through her, meaning Andrea. Like I told you, brothers, they set this so-called black woman up to be the intermediary between the so-called black community and the Caucasian elite. Tyler Perry did a very, very good job in the construction of this film. By far his best movie, in my view. I don't pay much attention to his other films. Most of them are trash. But this one, I remember, was referred to me by other brothers. I saw it years ago, and I said, okay, yeah, this he did his thing with this.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Hey, Robin. Hey, Chris, hold on a second. Your wife is doing an amazing job.
On my scrotum. This silly nigga thanking the man for getting his rod sucked by his wife. Ain't this a bitch? I tell you, man, Chris. Oh, man. All right, so now they're at a company party. This is a very important scene because it's going to reveal a lot of the things that I've been talking about in regards to the dynamics of the corporate America world and males and females and how they interact in the corporate America world. Right now, you see the character of William Cartwright. He's there with his wife. He's going to be approached by two different black couples, and they're both going to provide some insight into what goes on in corporate America. So now, as you can see on the left, or what you will see is that Robin Givens and her husband will approach on the left-hand side. Let's see what happens.
Hello, William. This
Yes, yes.
Abby Dexter. Hi, Jillian Cartwright. Nice to meet you. This is my husband.
Yeah, that's the first and last time this broad has been with a black man, probably since Mike Tyson. You know this is a movie.
Hi, Richard. Richard, nice to meet you. Pleasure.
Nice to meet you. Well, there's a lot of excitement here, huh?
Yeah. Enjoy your evening.
William trying to get the hell up out of there. He said, look, this broad ain't giving me no ass. I ain't talking to her for much longer.
Andrea.
Hello, Miss Cartwright.
You see how uneasy the character of Andrea becomes whenever she sees this man's wife? You know why? Because once again, Sanaa Lathan's character represents the modern day liberal black female. The liberal black woman wants to replace the Caucasian female as the consort of the Caucasian man. All right? That's really what they want. And if they can't get that, they'll settle for the whitenizing of the so-called black man. All right? What you call liberal black males. Okay? This is why you have people like Jemele Hill and other liberal black females who go on and on about race. They're frustrated. They know that they can never replace the Caucasian female as the consort of the Caucasian, as the consort of the Caucasian male. So they go on and on and on about race to number one, get attention, and number two, try to influence the so-called black man into trying to be like the so-called white man, trying to replicate his energy. All right, this is why liberal black females loved Barack Obama so much, or acted like they do. And that's another thing. Not to digress, just to show you how phony and hypocritical the liberal black female was. If you guys remember, when Obama was running for the presidency back in 2007, initially the liberal black female was not supporting Barack Obama. They were supporting Hillary Clinton. Remember that? They didn't know or care who the hell Barack Obama was. They were supporting Hillary Clinton. When Hillary Clinton lost in the primaries, then all of a sudden they switched over to Barack Obama. Why is that? Because like I tell you, brothers, their number one alter ego is feminism. And then after that comes globalism. And then lastly is racialism. They support their race last. Okay? The most important movements for the liberal modern black female is first feminism, then globalism, meaning the support of homosexuals, lesbians, transgenders. Why is that? Because it represents all those movements all those movements represent the denigration of male heterosexuality, okay, which is the essential power structure of society. Right? All those movements are sisters are in the struggle to tear down the male heterosexual rulership. That is why the so-called racialist angle comes last. Right? You say, oh, okay, yeah, I'll stand with these niggas if I have to. If I'm not getting any attention, or if I feel like I have no chance of getting a non-black man, then I'll pull the race angle. Right? But once again, just getting back to the film, pay very close attention to Sanaa Lathan. And before I go back, like I said, the liberal black female was not in support of Barack Obama. Initially, she was in support of Hillary Clinton. Please remember that.
That's a lovely necklace.
Not as lovely as yours.
See, the wife knows that Sanaa Lathan is banging her husband. That's why she commented on her necklace, because she knows that she should not be able to afford that necklace on her salary. Now, Chris, stupid ass, he's looking at the necklace. Yeah, baby, how the hell you buy that? This is how dim-witted he is. He done sat down on the couch and had her tell him about how great Mr. Cartwright is. And he's, number one, he's still trying to be the supportive husband. He doesn't understand that she's telling him right off the bat that she's fucking him. All right? But he wants the marriage to work, and he wants the convention of their union to work so bad. But, he also now is and the Caucasian woman is trying to tip Chris off as to what's going on.
Excuse me, honey. The mayor's here. Excuse me.
Mr. Cartwright said, let me get the hell up out of here. Because if I am getting no ass from either one of these bros, I got to go. William Cartwright, he all about getting some ass. If he's not getting ass within 10 seconds, he's leaving.
Well, hey, Mrs. Cartwright. Andrea's husband.
Chris, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris.
How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You look very handsome.
You see how she's trying to talk him up? She's really trying to tell him that, look, your wife is boning my husband. All right? She's trying to let him know subconsciously.
You're quite the couple. Enjoy.
Baby, this place is really nice.
Please don't do anything to embarrass me.
What are you talking about?
Just don't talk to anybody.
Baby.
Look at this dumbass. Grown ass man and your wife telling you, just don't talk to anybody. She looks at him as, once again, brothers, as a little boy. Okay? These are themes that you see over and over again in these films or TV shows. Why is that? Because they tell you that art imitates life. Right? They do these things in art to convey certain truths that are oftentimes disparate from what you're told in conventional education. What are little boys and young men told in conventional education? That women are the same as men and that we're all equal and this and that. But in the movies, they'll show you that the woman is essentially unstable, mentally fragile, and guided purely by her emotions. And because Chris doesn't understand this, he's victimizing himself and allowing himself to be victimized by his so-called wife. All right, so now this scene is very, very pivotal that's coming up because it's going to convey what I've been saying for the longest time, where the liberal black female's true allegiances and alliances are. Let's see what happens here.
Your husband has been talking to Bex about starting his own company. And a few people have told me that he's tried to contact some of our competition for help.
Well, he can be persistent.
Yeah, well, I don't like it. It's not good for business. So I'm gonna fire him.
Good. More ammunition for me to leave him.
You see what she said? After William Cartwright said he's going to fire her husband for actually trying to start his own business, she said, good. That'll be ammunition for me to leave him. Why is that? Because she'd rather be, as I stated earlier, the side chick of a provider and a self-motivated Caucasian man than with a so-called black man who's loyal to her and her husband, but is not where he wants to be. Once again, brothers, do not start serious relationships with these females until you are where you want to be in your life. Period. Okay, because confusion like this will ensue.
Love it.
This broad at the party, her man downstairs, she trying to get some of that rod. I told you, William Cartwright ain't talking to a bitch longer than 5 seconds unless he about to hit. That man ain't fucking around.
Excuse me, Mrs. Cartwright. Have you seen my wife?
Yeah, she's seen your wife. So your wife about to be face down, ass up, right upstairs. Go check it out.
She's with my husband.
Yeah, the broad says she's with my husband. Look at Chris, dumbass. What you mean? She working overtime? Dumbass. All right, so now this is going to be a pivotal scene in the film. Robin Givens' character is going to confront Sanaa Lathan's character about her affair. And also a lot of the skimming off of the books that Andrea has been doing, the siphoning of company funds, and, some of the reasoning behind it. Let's just check it out and see what happens.
Andrea, do you think I can see you for a moment, please?
Sure.
Look at the secretary. The secretary happy because she hoping Andrea can get fired so that she can hop on Mr. Cartwright. Yo, most of these liberal black females in the corporate America workplace, they ain't nothing but a bunch of damn thoughts. The majority of them, okay? It is what it is. She like, please fire that bitch.
I think you do a great job here.
Thank you.
But as I've been evaluating your performance and going over your records, I've come across some things that concern me.
Such as?
Just to know about something.
What is that?
You know that we have a strict no fraternization policy here, right?
I'm very aware of it.
She just doesn't care, right? She was brought in with the intention of fraternizing, right? Her attitude is fraternizing, but a fraternity's brothers. I'm a woman. I could fuck him. I could fuck Mr. Cartwright all I want. Try again, bitch.
I've been here 4 years.
Well, the things that concern me are several $1,000s of purchases that seem to be personal. Hotel stays every Wednesday.
Yep, every Wednesday. That's when Chris's wife getting her back blown out. That's why he can't get no ass. She's too damn sore.
Things on Mr. Cartwright's credit card that seem to coincide with your time spent away from the office.
What are you getting at?
Yeah. You done ran up $500,000 in condoms. That's what she's getting at.
Are you having an affair with Mr. Cartwright?
No.
I was so hoping that you were going to be honest with me.
Why would she be honest? She's thriving off of lying. Why the fuck would she be honest? You probably lying too.
I can't protect you if you're going to lie to me.
You're not trying to protect her at all. You're trying to get her to squeal so that you have a pretext to fire her ass.
I don't need you to protect me.
And you think he will?
I know he will. Mr. Cartwright is not the type of man that will take orders from the likes of you.
You see that? Once again, brothers, the woman does not want you to believe that she's equal to you. She only says it to see if she can trick you. The woman by nature is confused. All right? They say things that they hear other people say because it sounds alluring. All right? It's self-aggrandizing, but deep down they don't really believe it. This is why Sanaa Lathan's character says that he's not the type of man who's going to take orders. Why does she disdain her husband? Because he allows her to speak to him in a denigrating manner. When you don't allow that or tolerate that shit, they will respect you.
You just got here. You better watch your step.
It is sisters like you that give us all a bad name. Screwing your way to the top instead of doing it the right way.
The right way. The right way is graduating top of my class, getting my master's, and helping this company report record profits into...
Of course, you helping them report record profits. Mr. Cartwright got a clear mind because you're making him bust a nut every other night.
In 2.5 of the 4 years I've been here, affair or not, I'm doing it the right way. So, Abigail, who did you screw to get here?
Unlike you, I have worked my ass off to prove that I'm just as good, if not better, than my counterparts.
Bullshit. Look, man, just as an aside, in real life, Robin Givens was known as one of the major thoughts back in the 80s, man. That bro was screwing everybody. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Eddie Murphy, and of course Mike Tyson. They all was running through her, man. Mike Tyson was just the one dumb enough to marry her silly ass, right? Allegedly.
What you are doing, Andrea, will get you there, but it will not keep you. We're gonna have to let you go.
We'll see about that.
He has no authority to keep you here.
And you have no authority to make me leave.
Yeah, well, this is why this movie is very, very interesting. It really reveals a lot of the mindset of the modern day liberal black female, and the fact that once again, they have a lot of contesting amongst them in the corporate America workplace because they view the job market as their salvation from the so-called black man. They don't want to have to depend on you, so-called black man. It goes back to what I say about culture. In strong cultures, the woman trusts the man. All right. Really, what this feature film conveys is the problems that ensue when the woman does not trust her man to do the right things. Remember, Sanaa Lathan sat down and spoke to her husband, quote unquote, husband Chris, and told him that she didn't tell him about the money that she has because he would blow it. So that's her way of telling him that, look, you have all these dreams, but you don't have the proper mechanism to achieve them because you shouldn't even be with me. You should have been working on your dream and focusing on that. But she doesn't even know how to vocalize that, so she's going to attack him on a two-dimensional level. It's up to him as a man to understand that he went about the process all wrong. And this is why I constantly keep reiterating these things to brothers so that they can, you know, not make these mistakes that you see these characters make in films, or that older brothers have made, that people have experienced, that I've seen, that I've lived through. Things like that, man. These are things that you have to consider so that you can actionize proper reasoning. But anyway, we'll continue on in the next video.